Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This topic I want to do. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody? How are we all doing? It is not news anymore that Baba Ijesha has been freed. Good morning. Good morning. It is not news anymore that Baba Ijesha has been freed. And I was taking my time. I wanted to understand what led to him being freed before I spoke about it. I remember when this case surfaced, I think about 3 years ago. At the time, I've not started my page, but on my show, on my personal page, I remember writing extensively about this, about the offense that he had committed, that he was claimed to have committed. I remember writing extensively about it because I just felt like every other person, we're all caught up in our emotions. And apart from that, because of the kind of job I do, I could not ignore. I could not ignore. Yeah, because of the kind of job I do, I could not ignore. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, because of the kind of job I do, I could not ignore the story. But having said that, there are a lot of things. I remember Auntie Aduni doing a show on it at the time, and there were quite a lot of other people that did show. Some were for it, some were against it, some were against it. If there was anything, and I would still stand by, if there was anything, I think it brought a lot of, it made a lot of victims of forceful kerewa, particularly those who had gone through that experience as a child. It made a lot of people it made some victims to speak out, to come out and speak about their story. And, people were able to speak about their story, they were able to relate, they were able to talk about their trauma. Some people were also able to seek professional therapy. However, I'm going to say this very, very clearly. Some of the blog sites, hey, Motunrayo, how are you? Good morning, sis. However, some of the YouTube page or social media pages that listen to victim, they use that to their own advantage to build their page. And I can tell you for free, they are not worse than what Baba Ijesha was accused of. Because some of these victims came, they said their story, There was nothing. They were left in the sun to dry. Well, I'm going to talk about that much later. But for Baba Ijesha's case, I had a lot of, at the time, I won't lie to you, because of the kind of job I do, I could not ignore what they were saying. Okay? I could not ignore what they were saying. Any form of abuse is a no-no. And when it's now done to a minor, it's even worse. Like I said, every form of abuse is a no-no. And then when it's now done to a minor, it's even worse. For a minor, they are not able to express themselves. Now, this is not limited to Nigeria. Even in the Western country, that's something I'm going to make very, very clear. And I can say that authoritatively because of the kind of job because of the kind of job, my day job, because of my profession and the kind of job I do. I can tell you for free. Minors are not always able to come up and disclose. So for an adult, you would say an adult is making an allegation. But for a minor, it's a disclosure. Okay, when forceful KY is done, it's usually a disclosure, and it takes a lot for that minor, because one thing that we also need to understand is someone who abuses children is not unknown to the child. It's someone who has built trust with that child, someone who has built a form of relationship with that child. So it could be a teacher, it could be uncles, it could be aunties, it could be parents, it could be anybody. But I can tell you for free, the person who has anybody that abuses a child is known to that child, and the person has gained the trust of that child. I can tell you that for free. Whether professionally, I mean, even apart from saying it from a professional ground, well, from a professional ground, because there's evidence to back that up, okay? From a professional view, every person that has always abused a child has been known. For those of us who live in United Kingdom, you will remember that big child protection case, Victoria Crombie. I'm sure a lot of you will remember. And if you don't, go and read about it. I've done shows on it. Go and read about it. Victoria Crombie, and the person who calls herself her auntie, was known to the girl. Now, when you look at the case of BBP, they were known. When you look at the Fife case, the case of Fife, that's Fife is a local authority here in Scotland, Fife, the killings in Fife. All these children were known to the people who abused them and eventually pied them. They are known to those children. Okay? And children are the most vulnerable because they are fully dependent and fully reliant. Hey, good morning, Susan. How are you? They are fully dependent and fully reliant on the adults around them. So, hey, good morning. What does it mean? How are you? They are fully dependent and fully reliant on the adults around them. Now, and that's what, and also, if you also remember, for those of you who live in the United Kingdom, and even those of you who are outside, I know that the people who watch me are not just people who live in the United Kingdom. You can go and read about the case of Jimmy Savile. Now, Jimmy Savile was, oh, thank you, I'm fine. Jimmy Savile was a radio DJ. Not just a radio DJ, he became, of course, he was a face of media. Jimmy Savile preyed on vulnerable children. He didn't even just go for adults. He went strictly for children, for children, not even young adults, for children. And he got away with doing that because he used to volunteer. He volunteered in the hospital. He was a fundraiser. So he raised funds, he volunteered in the hospital. He also had a program called Jim Would Fix It. Those of you who live in United Kingdom, up until say 80s, 90s, you will know that program, Jim Would Fix It. Okay? So it's a television program. For those who are not based in the UK, the context of it is a television. So remember, for those of us who are in Nigeria, remember Tales by Moonlight. So that was the kind of thing that Jimmy Savile did. So that kind of setting. Because if you remember James by Moonlight, remember it used to be Julie Coker, if I remember, that used to do it. And remember, children would sit around her. And I think it's, I can't remember the sound, I can't remember the soundtrack of Tales by Moonlight. But children would sit around her and she would tell the story. Of course, for our context, it's not uncommon for children to sit around aunties or uncles or like maybe granddad or grandaunt or grandmoms. You understand? And you tell stories by the moonlight. You understand? So imagine if those children, they're not just sitting around Julie Coker at the time. I'm using Julie Coker because that's relatable in the Nigerian context. I know, like I said, I know my audience are not just those who live in the UK. So remember, most of those children, they are probably like maybe repeat visitors. So they would come over. Over time, they would have built a relationship with Julie Coker in the Tales by Moonlight studio. Okay, so like in the case of Jimmy Savile, so the Jimmy Savile, the Julie Coker equivalent was. I'm not saying Julie Coker did anything. I'm just trying to give you an understanding of what I mean by what's the name, by the program that Jimmy Savile did on TV, which was Jim Would Fix It. So Jim, the program was it was aimed at children and teenagers. It's like a wish list. You will come as a child, like probably you write a letter, to the studio, and hoping that your letter will be read on the TV. That was uncommon. It was not uncommon. Sorry, sorry. It is not uncommon for things like that to have happened at that time. Okay, obviously things like that won't happen now because of child protection. There will be a lot of ring fencing around that now in the UK. But the UK was not far away, and it's still not far away from what happens in Nigeria. Like, I work in the system, and I can tell you for free, the stories of abuse that we hear in Nigeria is daily, that we also see exact same thing here in the UK. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, in the UK the system is perfect. That's a lie. We only move, we only respond when disclosures are made. And I can tell you for free, there are a lot of disclosures that probably will never be made. And I'm saying that from a professional lens, because this is what I do day in, day out. Okay? So, yes, we have the child protection. The child protection system in the UK, is it a perfect system? I can tell you for free, it's not. I can tell you that for free. And I'm not saying it's not perfect because I think it's not working. It's not perfect because until disclosures are made, there's nothing to respond to. It's very difficult to respond when disclosures are not made. My kind of profession, we are told to always go with our gut instinct. So when you have a gut instinct, so when you're going to investigate a case, maybe you're working with a family. In my kind of job, we don't just you don't just see us work with family for no reasons. There will have been reasons. Maybe neglect has been disclosed. Maybe we are investigating neglect. We're investigating child protection concerns. Child protection concern could be anything. It's not just abuse. It could be anything. It could be simple things like school taunting. Like, so a child who doesn't go to school education would have tried to work with parents to understand what's going on, and then it could be that parents are still not engaging. Then they have to make a referral, and then of course, because they're children, and because in my line of job, and under the child protection system, all professionals around the child, we are corporate parents. So when school, who is the direct corporate parent of that child, of a school age child, when school has tried to support parents and parents are not engaging, they have to blow it. They have to report it. Or they have to report it and make referrals. And then social work would then step in. Social work does not just come into the life of any family for no reason. And that's why, when people say, social work came, they just turned up, they just took our children, that's a lie. Social work does not just come to take your children. Something happened for social work to engage. Social work is a last resort when it comes to corporate parenting and concerns raised. Okay? Social workers will come in, and when social workers step in, it means parents have not engaged with the initial what do they call it now? Intervention or support. Parents have not engaged. And because they've not engaged, social work needs to be informed. Okay, and then, of course, it becomes a statutory response. That becomes a statutory response. Where the statutory means states. It becomes a state response. So, that's that. Now, in the case of Baba Ijesha, and in the case of Jimmy Savile, like I said, Jimmy Savile was raising funds. He volunteered in hospitals, volunteered in what you call orphanage, your equivalent of orphanage homes. So he volunteered in children's home. In the UK, we call that children's home. Of course, we don't have that anymore. They are now residential schools and stuff because, again, all of this was ring-fenced. and investigated due to disclosures being made. Jimmy Savile opened the can of worm around child protection, around the loose end of child protection, and of course the system went heavy-handed, and rightly so. The system has a right to do that, and there's still, till date, child protection still remains it still remains an area of reformation. There's constant reformation around child protection. Okay, now now with the case of Baba Ijesha, I remember when that story broke out, the first question I asked for my own professional lens, and as an individual and as a mother, the first question I asked is, how did Princess end up with the 3 kids in her care? Some people said, it's her daughter's children. Some people said it is Auntie Adugbo's. She's Auntie Adugbo. She's like an area sister, or she's like an area. I think that's what Auntie Adugbo is. Please correct me if I'm wrong, if my translation is wrong. Apparently, she's an area sister to the parent of these children, and I was like, okay, she's an area sister. So where are the parents of the children? On what grounds was the children given to her to care for? Is she caring for them? Is it a case that the kids come for weekend, which is not uncommon? Are these children coming? Do they come to her for weekend? Do they live with her? And if they are living with her, why are they living in her care? Where are the parents of this girl, of these children? Where are the parents of these children? They said, that the parents of the children. Hello, Layinka, how are you? Are you new? If you are new, don't forget to subscribe, please. And I kept asking, where are the parents of these children? Now, and why did she end up with 3 kids? What time? She's an actress. What time does she have to stay with to care for these kids? Because we all know that actors and actresses, at least in the Nigerian context, actors and actresses, they do what do they call it? They go on sets, and from what we understand, from what they say themselves, they sometimes go on sets. Sometimes they are there for days. Sometimes they are there for weeks. Sometimes they are there for a month, according to what the Nigerian celebrities tell us. I remember the likes of Toyin Aimaku. I think she's Toyin Abraham. Sorry, yeah, she's Toyin Aimaku. Now that's her name. She's now known as Toyin Abraham. I remember when they interviewed her about the fact, she's married to what's the name? Kolawole Ajayemi, another actor. And I remembered she was interviewed, if I recollect correctly, she was interviewed, and they did ask, you and your husband coping, knowing that both of you are actors, you are both actors. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. I remember them asking her, how are you and your husband managing, knowing that both of you are actors? How do you manage your own front? And I remember her saying that herself and the husband, that they have an agreement that whoever is on set, the two of them cannot take an acting role at the same time. One has to be at home to care for the children, while the other goes. So they kind of rotate their parenting role. That's basically what they're saying. And I also remember Mide Martins. Again, Mide Martins is also someone who's, I think herself and the husband, they are both actors, They are actor and actress. So the two of them, they also said the same thing. And so on and so forth, you understand? So they paint a picture of a very busy household. So I remembered asking, so if this is how they do their set, or whatever they call it that they do, how come Princess then ended up with 3 children? Does she have a nanny who is caring for these children? The parents of these children, did they know the nature of a princess job? Is it a case that the children only comes to princess when she's not acting, or when she's not on set, or whatever it is? To be fair with you, there was no clarity on that answer. Hey, good morning, Auntie Joy. Good morning. How are you, ma? There was no clarity on that question. And I kept wondering, I was like, this is very strange. However, I did not take my eyes off the fact that there was an accusation that children were being abused. Now, I remembered when they came up with the story, and Princess was crying. There's an emotion. Emotion was being driven. Princess came online. Initially, they broke the news as in, there's an actor who did this, who did that. People were updating. The Nigerian Yeye Breti setting. They said they're updating, and of course, there's no way you will not, pay attention to what they were saying. Well, I paid attention as a person. I paid attention to what they were saying, and then later on, Princess then granted. She came online, and she was crying. The drama. But everybody forgot she was an actress. Okay? And that's the truth. Personally, I forgot she was an actress. I was carried away with her. Not carried away. For me, a child was abused. And I was not going to take my eyes off that. It was disclosed that a child was abused. I was not going to take my eyes off that. And I remember, for people who know my personal page, I wrote extensively about it. I did not budge. Okay, because it could happen to anybody. Good morning, Olayinka. How are you? It could happen to anybody. Okay, and there's no excuse for a child being abused. There's no excuse for it under the sun. There is no iota of excuse. So that passed. Now, Baba Ijesha did not really say much. I was also taken aback by Baba Ijesha's behavior. Because some people were speaking for him, oh this, oh that, blah blah blah. That was before Yomi Fabi. Some people were, I think some bloggers, there were some bloggers on Facebook, but maybe because they were fracas bloggers. That's why it's very important to know what you do online. Because sometimes people don't take you serious when you are known for a certain pattern of behavior. And this is not me dishing at anybody. I'm just saying this is how narrative can be swept under the carpets. I remember there was a particular blogger. I think she's a fracas blogger, and she talked about it. What's her name again? What's her name? I can't remember her name. She's one of the Yoruba fracas bloggers anyway. She was very, very vocal. She was speaking on behalf of Baba Ijesha. She was I can't remember her name. She was very, very vocal, saying Baba Ijesha did not do it. But maybe in my own opinion, upon reflection, I feel perhaps maybe the way she was saying it, she was not able to articulate herself properly. Maybe, just maybe, and also because she's linked to fracas, right? So for me, I remember watching her video because the algorithm, when you write about something, or when you write about something, it's natural that algorithm will bring those type of topics your way. And I remember that was how I got to see the lady's video. I can't remember her name now, but Zainab Omo Albarika. Does she live? No, is it Zainab? It's something Z. It's Z, but I don't know whether it's Zainab. No, it's not Buki Jesse. It was not Buki Jesse. It was a lady. She's a younger lady. She was very, very. I think she even, if I'm right, I think she actually, interviewed him, because I remember the other fellow bloggers too were insulting her. Yeah, that's the name, Zimama. Yeah, that's the person, Zimama. Is Zimama. That's the person, Zimama. Because I remember seeing the video. She's quite she's younger. She's a younger lady. I think it's Zimama. Yeah, maybe. but I know it's a Z name anyway. I don't know where she lives, but she's very, very vocal. She was very, very vocal about. Oh, so she's the one. Oh, thank you, thank you. I know it's a lady. She's a dark lady. Okay, I know she's Yoruba because she was saying it in Yoruba, and she was very, very vocal. Like she will not back off. Good morning. We're not good morning. If you don't know what we not do yesterday. If you don't know what we not do yesterday, make we leave that one inside cooler. Make we talk serious thing first. What's the name? She was that Z mama, Z woman. She was very, very vocal about the whole. She was like into it. Like, good morning, Olatunji, how are you? She was very, very vocal about the Baba Ijesha. Yeah, it's freed now. It's free. She was very, very vocal. That lady was very, very vocal. She was saying no, he didn't do it. She was alluding to it was framework, blah blah blah. But she was very, very vocal about it because I remember her very well. I remember that video, and I remember I was like, but perhaps, like I said, because she was in the fracas thing. Okay, because she was in the fracas scenario. To be honest, I just kind of like ignored. You understand? Because I was just like, all these people, the fracas people, they jump at every topic or some topics, and they could make a mess of it or something. So for me, in fairness, I didn't really pay, but I know that our algorithm, and I think because I wrote about I keep writing about Baba Ijesha, algorithm brings her show my way. And to be fair, yes, I listened to what she said. I think I watched about one or two of her videos. I watched it. I listened to what she said. But even though to an extent I could see where she was coming from, but I guess because she was in the fracas thing, it was very difficult to actually analyze whether she was it was very difficult to like separate her from, is this a view or is this a fracas thing? You understand? Because my understanding was there were also some Yoruba actors and actresses who are also part of the fracas. That's my understanding. So I wasn't really sure what it was. You understand? Anyway, that aside, but the point I was trying to make is there were a lot of people, there were some people who specifically spoke on behalf of Baba Ijesha. Even though Baba Ijesha was not saying much, there were people who spoke on her behalf. Yes, he's freed. He's freed, Olatunji. He's freed. His conviction has actually been crushed. So, they talked, she was talking about, because I remember even some people were also accusing her that she's been paid, blah, blah. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, there were people who spoke on his behalf. And then you also had, like I said, Princess came out. She was crying, the drama, all the shenanigans that went with it. She was crying, they did this. In short, initially, I actually thought the children were her biological children. And then it was when, of course, subsequently, when she was saying things, and I was like, so these kids are actually not her kids. And that was why I started asking the question I was asking, where I was like, okay, where are the parents of these children in the midst of all of this? Where are their parents? Oh, thank you, Olayinka, thank you. And I was like, where are the parents of these children in the midst of all of this? How did they, what led them to leave the children with Princess? How is Princess able to protect? Why come she's even ended up with 3 kids? What time does she have to look after these children? And being an actor or being an actress, whatever it is that they call themselves, they are always very busy. I'm very sure Princess home will be a very busy home, because our fellow actors and actresses will be visiting her. People will probably be visiting her. Some of them do their videos or their films. They use their homes as part of their sets. So those children are actually exposed to risk of harm when it comes to abuse. If truly those kids were abused, there were a lot of questions there. But hey, before we could say Jack Robinson, just at the tone, that one too jumped at the story. They started throwing, he, hey, he. They were doing all this thing. Then Iyabo Ojo are popular. I think that was when she became. That was when that her black bonnet became popular. Where she was on to also on for Jugba, and we're like, they said they saw video. They saw a video. I said, they saw video. I remember myself and Auntie Aduni did not agree on this particular Baba Ijesha's case, because Auntie Aduni was, she was like, even if it happens, Aburo. Because I remember being and I had conversations, and she saw what I was writing, and we had our conversations, and I remember her saying to me, Aburo, I hear where you're coming from, and I remember her asking me directly, they said there's a video. How come there's a video in the house of Princess? Is it that they were filming? Is it a planned work? Was it all framed up? And I said, auntie, like I said, you got my kind of profession. I was like, no, auntie, how can you be saying that? Definitely that had happened. Kiniko. We had our very heated argument about it, because I stood my ground. I said, no, this is what has happened. But again, and I remember auntie kept saying, these people, you also need to be careful. There's emotions being thrown around here. And that was one thing that Princess Iyabo Ojo and Just Adetong, they were just throwing tantrums. And that's what I call it, tantrums. They continued and continued and continued. And then later on, did you, Fabi, know about this? What do you mean? Sorry, can you retype again, Ola Tunji? You said, did you, Fabi, know about this? What do you mean, did you, Fabi, know about this? I don't know what you mean. Anyway, so subsequently, we're going on and on and on and on. And guess what? Then Yomi Fabi came on the, what's the name? Now came on board. And Yomi Fabi was like, this is a setup. This child that they are saying is a child is actually not a child. Yomi Fabi was very vocal. I remember they were insulting him. The camp of, the Yeyebeti camp, they were separated. A lot of them were on the part of Yomi Fabi, on the part of Princess. Very few of them were paying attention to what Yomi Fabi was saying. And I think it was when Yomi Fabi is now started collaborating, almost like what Auntie Aduni was saying. I then had to back off. I was like, hold on a minute, too. What this guy is saying, the questions he's asking is similar to what Auntie Aduni is asking. And okay, I've written about this, but let me take a step back. Personally, I actually went into Princess DM on Instagram at the time. I slid into her DM and I wanted. Yes, Yomi Fabi know about it. Yeah, Yomi Fabi is aware of his that he's freed. So I remember going into Princess Comedian's DM on Instagram. I went into her DM, introduced myself, shared my personal number with her, and said, reach out to me. This is what I do. I want to talk to you. I want to understand what has happened. But she will reach out to me maybe tomorrow. And that was where I felt, hold on. I've told you who I am. And I could see that she read my comment. She read my message. I could tell that she read it. When on Instagram somebody reads your comment, you read your message, you can tell. So I could see that she read it. I think she actually sent me a message, and then I said she can call me. I told her at the time she could call me, but she never got back to me for reasons best known to her. But she will go online and they will talk and everything. I just thought something is not adding up here. Then I think what nailed it for me was when Iyabo Ojo now came out. Let me play this her popular video that she played, that she said. And I think that was where I was like, hold on, no. Abi looto ni pe they set this guy up. True. Hold on, let me play the popular.
Wait, Yomi? What's your life with your Joko? Yeah, you have to wait. You want to wait, Yomi? You want to wait, yo? Joko say you have to wait. You have to be from phone. You let Jackie ask what she no. Mo come my mom imitating you. Okay, bye. You have to wait. Even if the person is guilty, even in the courts of law, you're not guilty until you are found guilty. Wallahi, Baba Ijesha guilty. ṣe bá ń fi pamọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni à ń fi pamọ́ pé kí ó jẹ́ pé adájọ́ ló máa dájọ́ fún bàbá Ìjẹ̀ṣà guilty tí bàbá Ìjẹ̀ṣà bá jáde máa dá padà sẹ́wọ̀n yẹn ó guilty fún ọtí mo rò ó guilty bàjẹ́ kò sẹ́ni tó máa bá mi sọ tó bá jáde máa dá padà síbẹ̀ gbogbo láti mi máa ná sí wàhálà ẹ̀ máa tálẹ̀ mi torí ẹ̀.
So when she said this, I was like, ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ ju bàbá Ìjẹ̀ṣà ó ju kí ló ń porúkọ ẹ̀? Is there more to this story than what we are seeing?
Yomi, ó ṣe live video jókòó. Yeah.
Hold on, let me show you the video. I'm sure you all remember the popular video. I am sure we all remember it. I'm sure we all remember this video.
Yomi, ó ṣe live video jókòó. Yeah, you know, you have to wait. You want to wait, Yomi. You want to wait, yo. Ojoko say you have to wait. You have to be phone ilé jẹ́ kí n art bó ṣe ṣe náà. Mo ko mi máa imitate yan. Ó ṣe báyìí. You know you have to wait. Mo ko mi máa imitate. Even if the person is guilty, even in the court of law, you know you are not guilty until you are found guilty. Wallahi Baba Ìjẹ̀ṣà guilty. Ṣé bá ń fi pamọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni? À ń fi pamọ́ pé kí ó jẹ́ pé adájọ́ ló máa dájọ́ fún Baba Ìjẹ̀ṣà guilty. Tí bàbá Ìjẹ̀ṣà bá jáde máa dá padà sẹ́wọ̀n yẹn ó guilty fún ọtí mo rò ó guilty bàjẹ́ kò sẹ́ni tó máa bá mi sọ tó bá jáde máa dá padà síbẹ̀ gbogbo láti mi máa ná sí wàhálà ẹ̀ máa tálẹ̀ mi torí.
You see, this video sent a different message out, and it was actually with this video that I took a step back and said, hold on a minute, what's truly going on here? Could it truly be that the man was framed up? Now, you know, she kept saying she's guilty. Baba Ijesha is guilty based on the video they saw. So in my head, I kept asking, video that you guys saw, like how? Is there a video, or was it a movie scene, or is it that they want to sell? Maybe they are shooting a movie that they want to market it? Because you know, with the Nigerian Nollywood, you don't know what to believe. A lot of times you don't know what to believe. So I was kind of like surprised. But then I just thought, you know what? Let me take a step back and understand, and let me take a step back and reflect on what they are doing. And of course, Yomi Fabiyi came out. I remember for Yomi Fabiyi, he wouldn't back off. He was analyzing, I think he has a foundation or something. Through his foundation, he started talking about Baba Ijesha. Like I said, that other lady in Germany too, the lady that they said she lives in Germany, Z Mama, that one too was talking, because I remember very well that lady was very, very vocal. In short, I remember her people accusing her that it's like maybe Baba Ijesha gave her money or something like that. Anyway, but that lady, kudos to her, because she was not backing off. The lady was vocal. If I remember, I think when they even went to court, the lady was streaming. When they went to court, she would not back off. Yomi Fabiyi too was saying his things. Them just Adeton, all of them, they talked. Anyway, the update now is that, what's his name? Baba Ijesha, he went through the appeal system. Yes, he was given 16 years originally. And there were a lot of things that did not sound right in the way the sentencing was done. Because I remember when they released the CCTV, I remember watching the CCTV and I was like, this thing looks like a movie. But then I wasn't sure, because for me, it felt like what I saw, and this is purely my own observation. What I saw when I looked at the CCTV, I was like, this doesn't. Okay, fine. Baba Ijesha went to go and see the girl, but it looks like it was like a script. That's how it felt like. And I remember also writing about it, saying, if this girl was, if you are saying that this girl was abused, now why are you re-traumatizing this girl? This is not professional. Again, maybe because of the kind of job I do, because I know that in the United Kingdom, when a child when a child makes a disclosure, you don't re-traumatize the child. There are so many ways. There's different ways. Whatever information we need from that child, we do it in a trauma-informed approach. You don't put a CCTV and tell the child to come and sit next to their victims and to their perpetrators. You don't do that. So I became very uncomfortable, and of course, I just kind of wrote about what they did, and I said, look, this is not this is wrong. Princess should actually be arrested, and I still maintain my ground. Princess has no right to seek asylum in United Kingdom based on the narrative that was put out, because she opened a door. If that child was abused, according to what they are saying, she opened a door for that child to be abused. And I'll come and I'll tell you why I'm saying what I'm saying. So anyway, after the CCTV, I just thought, you know what, I've had enough of this thing now. And of course, Baba Ijesha, like I said, he was arrested. He was charged, and he went down. Well, they sentenced him for 16 years. I think 5 years, because I watched Princess yesterday. 5 years, and then 3 years consecutively. She was going to serve his sentence consecutively. Now, yesterday, so 2 days ago, I think 3 days ago, it was in the news. The breaking news was that Baba Ijesha was released. And so I remember when I saw it, I was like, released like how? He only just went to prison 3 years. I thought they gave him 16 years. So I went online to read about it. I looked at, I think it was Vanguard and Co. They picked it up. And then Yomi Fabi also talked about it. But I think it was true, when I was reading the newspaper, they said his appeal, he had appealed against his conviction. That means against what he was convicted on, which is Kerewa offense. And the conviction was crushed. That means to say the conviction was dismissed. And you cannot call him an ex-convict. You can't call him an ex-convict of Kerewa offense, because that is cleared of that. Okay? So, and then I thought, hold on, for them to crush that conviction, what was the reason? What evidence? What new evidence did they have that was different from what they did, from what they tendered in the original case? Which is natural. That's what even in the Western world, that's what you would ask. And I read, and I think in Vanguard they were talking about the fact that the girl, number one, the age of the girl was not. They had lied about the age of the girl. Then secondly, the fluid, the masculine fluid, you know what I mean? The masculine fluid that was found on the girl, that masculine fluid, wait now, Auntie Joy, Auntie Joy, hey, Auntie Joy, just hold on first. The masculine fluid that was found on the girl was the fluid of her boyfriend, and I said, Ewano. So when they said they went to go and test the girl, they did not see all of this at the initial stage. That one aside, then there was no psychologist, like Auntie Joy said, because I remembered after the case, suddenly Princess was seen on United Kingdom, and I can't remember where was it. I can't remember who mentioned that she was seeking asylum, and I said, hold on a minute, is she seeking asylum with those children? And the answer I got was no. She was seeking asylum that she's in danger. And I'm like, you are in danger. What about the children? What about these so-called children that you claim were abused? So you left them in Nigeria with their potential perpetrator, or with their known perpetrator. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's a known perpetrator to them. So she left those children in Nigeria, and she came to UK to come and seek asylum. Asylum as a how? Asylum as a Ogun Afghanistan is catching you in Festac where you live, or wherever she says she lives. Like, I could not wrap my head around it. And I remember saying to someone that, hold on, all these Nigerian immigration lawyers, oh no, you know me and you know where I stand when it comes to all these immigration lawyers. And I was saying, I said, all these Nigerian immigration lawyer, oh no. So who is deceiving Princess that she's going to get asylum? I don't know why she's claiming. I don't know the basis of which she's claiming. But if it's related to those children, I now understand why. I will tell you why she did the video she did yesterday. If it's anything to relate with those children. So they said she claimed asylum. I said, she's claiming asylum. Láti bo síbo. In short, Lagos State. Why are you claiming asylum from Lagos State? There is no unrest happening in Lagos State. Lagos State is a very safe state. I'm not saying things don't happen, but Lagos State is a very safe state. There is no reason to claim asylum from Lagos State. Even àwọn gan tó wà ní Borno, Plateau State gan, they claim asylum. They know they give them asylum for UK. They claim asylum. A lot of them, they don't get asylum because they will tell them. Some of them, when they reject the asylum, they will tell them, yes, where you say kasala dey happen, the other place in Plateau State where kasala only dey happen. Okay, so and I was like, which kind of asylum should they claim from? Anyway, that's it. So I thought, okay, let's go. So yesterday, like I said 2 days ago, Baba Ijesha was freed. Tolu Benson, how are you? She lives in SC London. Good for them. So I now thought to myself, I was like, okay, let us even wait. So the next thing, Baba Ijesha, I think he said something free, something, he kind of said something, and then Yomi Fabiyi was talking about it, and then later on, yesterday, I was out most of the day. So when I came back, thank you sis. When I came back, I just watched Princess Comedy. And I was going to talk about it, and I just got pissed off when I watched her video. So when I watched the video, she said everything but nothing. That's how I can summarize that video. She said everything but nothing. Oh yes, he is free. He's a serial pedo. He's a kiniko. Okay, if you have all of this information, you knew all of this, and you allowed him around the children that were in your care. She said other witnesses, that he had other victims, and that all the other victims she called T, she called A, kiniko. She was not even coherent in what she was saying. She's still very vindictive towards him. What I heard, I don't know how true, allegedly, herself and Baba Ijesha were dating. And at a point, Baba Ijesha said he ended the relationship. And she became vindictive towards him. That's what I heard. I think it was Yomi Fabiyi. I can't remember. Somebody definitely said it in the quest of them talking at the time. And I was like, but it's beginning to look alike. Because yesterday she was saying he's a convicted killer, and I'm like, this woman, you don't go school. Folashade Oyinlade, wait till now. It's beginning, and yesterday when she was saying it, it's kiniko, and I said, this is beginning to look like it. You are saying he's a convicted Sam Murakinyo. How are you? Are you new? If you're new, please subscribe on our channel. I totally agree with you. I'm coming somewhere. Make una calm down. What's the name? Suddenly, she was saying he's convicted. I'm like, do you not understand simple English? Hello, Yewandi, how are you, Jare? And I was in my head, I was like, do you not understand English? His conviction has been crushed. You can't call him a convicted person when his conviction has been crushed. For appeal courts to crush his convictions, they have evidence beyond reasonable doubt that he did not do that crime. They did not reduce his sentence. They crushed the conviction. There's a difference between crushing convictions and reducing his sentence. They didn't reduce his sentence. They literally, the reason why he was sent to prison, they literally crushed it. Oh, thank you, sir, Samakeyo. They literally crushed it. That's basically saying what he was accused of doing, what he was charged of doing. That charges do not hold. That charges cannot hold. Therefore, is discharged and acquitted from any charges. So, princess, if you come across my video, it is good to go to school. And if you don't understand something, Google is your friend. Type it on Google. So that aside, their ex, Okote Dabe. So I now thought to myself, I was like, okay, that aside. Then she said there were other victims. She said there is a T, there is a, there are other children, other adults, and by the way, when he has been moving around, every time he does something, he moves around. So you know so much. So if you knew so much, in short, by what she said yesterday, princess actually needs to be arrested for what she said yesterday. Baba Ijesha, I say arrested, sorry, not arrested. For what she said yesterday, if Baba Ijesha has access to legal team, he should actually charge her. Because she needs to come and explain. She knows all these things. She said every time, she mentioned the areas that he had lived and said he's always moving around. She even said he built a house and then he moves around every time he commits this crime. That he moves, exactly, Olatunji, I agree with you. That he moves around. I thought, so even the house he lives in as well, he moves away from the house when he comes. So if you knew so much, if you had so much in-depth knowledge of his pattern of behavior, the question is, how come you now left vulnerable children around him? Because she seemed to know so much. Most likely, I would say so as well. Folashade, I agree with you. At some point, Baba Ijesha needs to talk, but I don't think he just needs to talk. I think he needs. You see, this is what we're saying about Regina Daniel, where these people they don't have PR. If you look at the case of PDD and all of them, the American equivalent and the UK equivalent of all these guys, they have a PR team that manages them. Whether they are guilty, whether they're not guilty, there's a PR team that overtakes them, because Baba Ijesha is his stage name. And this was the exact thing that I asked during the time of Mohbad. Mohbad is also a stage name. Where is Mohbad's legal team? Not Iliri Oloba. Where is the legal team around Mohbad, the brand? Victor Olushola, good morning, how are you? Just Google Baba Ijesha's name. Vanguard is very detailed about what happened in court. His conviction was crushed. It's very, very clear. His conviction was crushed. Princess is, I will tell you why I think Princess did that video yesterday. If truly Princess is claiming asylum, if she's seeking asylum in the United Kingdom, that video is important that she did it. But the lawyer that got her to do it, or whoever advised her to do it, they both herself and whoever advised her, they are the dumbest of the dumbest. Not even in this current UK, not even on Monday now, asylum system is changing completely. You see that video that she did yesterday, to me, I think she did it. If truly she's seeking asylum, that video she did yesterday, I think she did it to back her asylum, to legally back her asylum claim. That's what I think she's done. If truly she's seeking asylum, because she needs to be able to she needs to show that she has said something against that, the statement that was made or the release of Baba Ijesha is still detrimental to our safety. So if truly she's seeking asylum like it is claimed, if truly she's seeking asylum, that video she did, she feels there's a need for her to do that video. But unfortunately, I don't think somebody told Princess that in UK, in United Kingdom, they don't go with emotions when you are claiming. Even when you are doing even on ordinary normal immigration, they don't do emotions. The video she did yesterday actually showed that she has no basis for asylum. I don't need to be a lawyer to tell her that. Go and listen to that video. That video does not give her the basis for asylum. As a matter of fact, that video she did yesterday further puts hole in her asylum claim. Because if you knew, so you know so much about this perpetrator, you know that he has abused so many people, you know that he moves around, so that means you are part and parcel of the ring of crime. That's basically what that video says about her. Just in case, that's basically what she's saying, that's what she's admitting in that video. Just in case she doesn't understand what she has done. That video that Princess did yesterday literally just shows and Princess just literally admitted that she knows about Baba Ijesha's behavior and she's fully aware of his behavior, yet she chose to compromise the safety of the children in her care. That's basically what that video summarized. Just in case she doesn't understand the English, this is not Nigeria. This is United Kingdom. And if a lawyer, even if it's a lawyer that told her to go and do that video, that lawyer is the daftest of the daftest. Princess, if I were you, I will change that lawyer. Because voila, you no go get asylum. In short, I don't know the basis of why you are claiming asylum. But if you are... No. Good morning, Theo. How are you? Theophilus Shitu, how are you? Theophilus Shitu, go and watch that video. There is no way she can make any claim. Because she's very, very specific. She's literally reporting a pattern of crime in that video. Go and watch the video. Take your time. Remove yourself from you, whether you know Princess or you don't know Princess. Take your time. Go and watch the video. Go and listen to it. That video literally puts hole in her claim if she's claiming asylum around the incident of those children. Number one, her asylum is even shaky if the asylum claim is down to those children. Because number one, you are claiming asylum, you left those vulnerable children in Nigeria and you came to the UK to come and do waiting. So you are claiming asylum as what? Okay, let's even say she wants to claim the asylum and the grounds of her claiming asylum is once she gets asylum, she'll go and get those children. Now you are not allowed to reunite with your family. She's not allowed. Because when you claim asylum now, you don't get automatic unity with your family. And as a matter of fact, from the asylum, from the new asylum law that is going to be passed on Monday, which is applicable to every stage of asylum, it doesn't matter what stage you are in right now, whether you have been given the 5 years, whether you are still in the early stage, whatever stage you are in, the new asylum claim is the new asylum law is very, very clear. You will be granted asylum temporarily. That is if your case meets the threshold. You will be granted asylum temporarily until things are settled in your country. Once it is settled, you go back to your country. There is no more indefinite right to remain. And there's no route, they stopped the route of a family settlement for asylum seekers anyway, for refugees. It's all been stopped. These are all out there in public. Okay? So, that one aside. Now, like I said, the video she did yesterday, it literally just shows she's part and parcel of the ring of abuse. That's basically what that video tells. That's what she's admitting to. Okay, let's even say, okay, let's say for argument's sake, like Tio is saying, let's say for argument's sake, oh, she got to know after this the girl in her care disclosed. So what did she do about it? So she knows all of this. She still ran to UK. Ran to UK to come and do what exactly in the UK? That one aside. The children, where are those children? What provision has she made for those children on professional support, on trauma support? What arrangement has she made? If she's an asylum seeker, I can tell you for free. Hey, Musa, good morning. How are you? If she's an asylum seeker, she's not allowed to work. Oh no, as an adult, she can do care. Yeah, as an adult asylum seeker, she can do care. Well, I don't know what job she's doing. I don't know if she's working or not, but she's allowed to do care. She can work as a carer. Oh, she can't work. Was it just during the COVID they allowed them to work? Tolu Benson, you will know better. For the adult asylum seeker, was it just during COVID they allowed them to work? Yeah. Yeah, the children are still in Nigeria. So I don't understand on what basis I don't know what basis she's using to claim asylum. You know? But I know that obviously she did talk about her marriage and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. You know? But the thing is, with the way UK is not smiling when it comes, in short, immigration is a big deal for UK right now. And other Western countries, they are not smiling. And this one that they have decided to use the Danish system. Everybody go do okay last. Anyway. Oh, she cannot work. Yeah, but I remember that they allowed them work during. Oh no, okay, so she cannot. Okay, that's fine. So she cannot work. Is it the stipend they give to them? Because I know it's not a stipend they give them. If it's a stipend, if it's a weekly stipend they give to them, how is she able to? Because she's living in a free accommodation. That's where she'll be living. She'll be living in a free accommodation. The stipend they give to them is not even enough to cater for herself, let alone care for somebody else. I can tell you that for free. Because what they give them is a stipend. I can tell you that freely. It is a stipend. Anyway. Exactly. I thought as much as well. Yeah, it's a stipend. So that's not enough for her to even care for anybody. Stipend and vouchers. Even the voucher, how much is the entire thing? How much is it? You understand? How much is the entire amount of money, the entire thing that they give them? It's not even enough to she can't even use it to care for herself alone, let alone care for children. Anyway, that one aside. Now you have Iyabo Ojo. I remember Iyabo Ojo then. She came then, she was like, hello, Abedin. How are you? Are you new? If you're new, kindly subscribe to our channel. So, you know, Iyabo Ojo then, I remember Iyabo Ojo too came. Shelon Kurutonga. I will send him back. I will sell my house. I will do this. I will do that. I will do this. I will do. And we're like, okay, now that Baba Ijesha is free, is Iyabo Ojo going to send him back to prison? And the reason why I'm actually doing this show is because, you see, personally, I don't know. And from the look of things, it looked like this guy was framed. But then also, let us also be very clear. If he did not walk in the path of being framed, they wouldn't have been able to frame him. Could it be that Baba Ijesha also have weakness when it comes to children? Or is it someone that naturally cannot keep his zip up? He doesn't know whether he's a child, whether he's an adult. Could it be? Could it be that he has problems? If he has, he better go and sort himself out. The reason why I decided to do this show is because I reflected on the case of that Enugu man. Remember that man, that his wife, I think I did the show, that the wife framed him up. The wife gave a false accusation that the man was carrying his 2 children, only to find that the man was paraded, emotions was thrown about, women supporting women, blah blah blah, only to discover it was just a video. For whatever reason, the recording came out, and the man, it was found that the man never did anything to his children. Musa, that's what I'm saying, that it's possible he himself, there are concerns there. The fact that his conviction is crushed does not necessarily mean that, he has not, it does not mean that he did or didn't do it. I don't know. But from the point of this case, the conviction is crushed because there was evidence to support. There was evidence to highlight that the consent was not, the girl in question, the age, there was concern around her age. There was inaccuracy around her age. The way the incident was described, there was consent around it. It was more like a framed incident. Lara Musa, how are you? Are you new? If you're new, kindly subscribe to our channel. And please now like the video. Don't let them flag our video. Like the video. We are 117 watching and just 8 likes. Please kindly kindly press the like button so it improves the quality of the video. The truth is, we probably will never get to the bottom of the reality, the bottom or the truth of this case. I don't know. I cannot necessarily say that Baba Ijesha did not do this case, did not do what he was accused of. And I cannot say he did it. I cannot say he did not do it in the sense that we don't know if truly he has concerns, he has problems around philandering. Okay? But when it comes to the people, the credibility of the people who are accusing him, their credibility has a lot of question mark. Iyabo Ojo, remember, with the case of Mohbad, she was kuruing, she was guying. That is Yoruba English. She was kuruing and she was guying. That means she was growing up, she was going down. You know the meaning of kuruing and guying. He was there. Iyabo Ojo was there. Iyo Mohbad, Naira Marley did it. Naira Marley shekinikan. At a point, she even said Naira Marley is not the same person that gave substance to her children, that laced her children with substance, only to find out at the end of the day, Ashe they have WhatsApp group. Ashe in the WhatsApp group, everything that they were telling us in public, it was on the WhatsApp group that they were orchestrating it, that they were scripting it out. So even if Iyabo Ojo comes out to come and talk tomorrow, we have questions, because her credibility is shaky. Look at the whole Mohbad case. She even carried Baba Mohbad, insulted that one. Of course, those families going themselves, they are dysfunctional. She carried Baba Mohbad, she insulted that one. There was nothing. They even went behind, according to the WhatsApp group that we saw, that very dark man read to us. Sorry, I know see him. Very dark man read it out to us. According to the WhatsApp group, Iyabo Ojo was the admin. They even went behind to go and do DNA for the child that Mohbad wife, been a partner, been a girlfriend, I don't know, that she carry in her hand. The result of the DNA till today, they never tell us. They say when the girl go do DNA, the girl now under Iyabo Ojo wing, she dey. So that one day, then just at the tone, suddenly she enter voicemail. Just at the tone has also done some cases where she don't come out, saying that like this the case be. When we begin to look, wetin we see, it didn't for what our case was a case of what we saw, what you bought versus what you ordered. Temu versus Shin. Now wetin we see. Now princess comedian, are we to say that, I don't know on what basis she's claiming asylum, but if the asylum that she's claiming is related to these children, is it a case that she's always wanted to come abroad and she's now seen a soft landing? So those children are actually victims, irrespective of whatever has happened. They are still victims, because Iyabo, she herself, she's probably, I don't know on what basis she claimed what's the name. I don't know on what basis she claimed asylum. She's claiming asylum rather, because she's still in the asylum system. She's claiming she will still be in the asylum system. So if she's claiming asylum, on what basis is she claiming asylum? That those children, that they are at risk of harm, and yet she left them in Nigeria. She run come UK to come and claim asylum. Shebi, if the kids are in risk of harm, you carry all of them, you carry them come. We go wait. Na here we go dey. Asylum na here we go dey. We go wait cinema. Yomi Fabi, if I'm being honest, kudos to him. Kudos to him for standing strong with Baba Ijesha, using his organization. I think he has an organization. Standing strong. There was also that man. What's the name of that Baba that said it is a common thing for them to sleep with themselves in Yoruba movie industry? There was a man. Remember when they went to court? When that old man, he's one of the old Yoruba actors. What's his name now? He's a Yoruba man. He's one of the, the Baba, one of the Babas in Yoruba movie. That he said, I remember when they interviewed him, they went to court and the man said, hold on, no, I don't know why you guys are making a big deal out of this. It's a normal thing that we do in the Yoruba movie industry. Olofano, thank you, Jaritio. Thank you, Theophilus. No, it wasn't Jide Kosoko, it was that man. It was not Jide. Oh, he passed away. Oh, wow. Oh. It would have been so interesting to see him being alive. Could it be that they all knew? But you remember that time, everybody was shutting them up. How can you talk like this? Look at these babas. This kinikon. Nothing where people no call that man. Nothing where people no call him. Kudos to the like of Auntie Asduni that stood. I remember me and Auntie Asduni, in short, she would tell me, she said, Aburo. Because, at a point, I was so, I remember Auntie Asduni saying to me, she said, Aburo, I want people in actress ni won. But then I was like, Auntie, no, Auntie, why are you not seeing what I'm saying? Kiniko. She said, I understand where you're coming from, but take yourself away from your professional cap and see it from the streets. And to be honest, Auntie is so right. Auntie Aduni is so right. And also, when I now look at this most recent case, where that lady, where they paraded that man, that innocent man, that man from Enugu, where they paraded him, they said, he abused his 2 children. Remember the man? I remember it was the way the man came across. I thought, this video, because people sent it to me, I also saw it myself. I was like, there's something that does not sound right in this video. And then when the other video now, when the voice note, I've been recording, then came out of the woman coaching the children, I said, in my profession, we say trust your gut instinct. You always have to trust your gut instincts. In the case of Baba Ijesha, initially, I put my gut instinct in one corner, I don't trust them. But when I started, I just took a step back. And that lady, that Zimama lady, kudos to her as well, because she didn't back off. Despite the fact that our fellow fracas people were bashing her, she stood her ground. She stuck her neck out, she stood her ground, because her videos were popping up. They were always popping up. Then. Where she would say, no, Baba Ijesha Kiniko, she was very, very vocal about it. But again, I think because she's a fracas person, sometimes the people you associate with also makes people question the credibility of what you're saying or what you're doing. Okay? I guess because she was into fracas. Like I said, me, I think I saw a video like few minutes, but again, because she was a fracas person, me, I just thought, oh, I beg, all these fracas people with their AK market day wahala, you understand? I just ignored. But kudos to her for standing her ground. Now, just Adetun, exactly. I remember just Adetun in the case of Mohbad, she turned to Aboku Soro. Mohbad, leave me alone. In short, she did comedy skits on Mohbad one. Because me, I don't understand how you could just waka for road. Mohbad no follow him mama talk, he no follow him papa talk, he no follow him family talk, he no follow him wife talk, abi na girlfriend, abi na I no know. Iyabo Joseph wey dey torment him life, he no follow am talk. Na you wey no sabi am, you come dey waka for road. Mohbad, leave me alone. In short, I don't know whether the lady dey act movie, because at a point I was like, ṣé ń ṣe pé àǹtí, ṣé ń ṣe pé àwọn ará Yaba, àbí ṣé ń ṣe pé wọ́n kúrò ní Yaba left tí wọ́n fún wọn lóògùn wọn pé, because na so the thing dey sound. If na UK, mo jẹ́rìí wọn, mental health àti wọ́n ti gbé mental health, wọ́n ti jù sí sanction, wọ́n ti sanction ẹ̀, wọ́n ti section ẹ̀, sorry, wọ́n ti section ẹ̀ ti òǹkè. You dey waka for road dey miss yan. Rí pé UK, rí pé kì í rí àwọn wèrè lójú títì ni. Èṣì o, section 35 ló jẹ́, section 35 ni òbókù sọ̀rọ̀ àbí kò sí wàhálà. Máa bọ̀, wọ́n máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ nínú secluded unit. Anyway, I hope Baba Ijesha has learnt his lesson. If he truly has problems, if he truly is someone that is battling, that has this kind of problem, he better go. If I were him, I be anybody wey like am, if I be all the people wey dey around am, let him go and seek professional help. Let him go and seek professional help. And if he's, because from the look of things, from all I have seen so far, it looks like truly he was set up. Because when Princess was talking yesterday, me, I was even thinking she had something different to say, that how can it be? These are the evidence. This is what he did. Na lie you. Instead, na why we should talk. And you can see how it's so easy that these women they used emotions to drive the narrative. Iyabo Ojo was there. She was cooing, she was guying. You had the Princess Comedia, that one kon dey cry ekun egbere. You had Adetun, all of them, they were there. We are marching for mothers. We are mothers for marching. All of them they did orishirishi skit and comedy at the detriment of someone's future, someone's life. What if this guy, what if he did not make it alive? What if while he was in prison, he died? What if? Have you not seen cases where by the time the person's case is taken through appeal and the case gets overturned, that person has died? Have you not seen cases like that? Over here in United Kingdom, I have seen cases. I used to work in criminal justice, and I still work closely with criminal justice. There are cases. What if this guy had passed? So he would have just gone to prison. Basically, what had happened is he went to prison for doing nothing. He was innocent. As far as the Nigerian justice system is concerned, from the judgment that was, from the verdict that was given, I think on Friday. Hello, Diaspora Diva. Yeah, I pity the kids involved. But still, the question is, did he truly do what they accused him of? Because the law court is saying that's not what happened. He did not do it. And then the girl in question, they are saying that the girl was a child. The law court is saying that's not the case. It doesn't make it right. If there was abuse, it doesn't make it right. And like I said, if Baba Ijesha truly has, if he's someone that is struggling, or he has concerns, if there's concerns about the way his inappropriate behaviors, he has a second chance now. He should check himself into, he should go and employ a professional. He should employ the service of a professional and address whatever concerns. Because I'm not going to lie to you. Wọ́n pè èèyàn lólè. Sorry of my non-Yoruba, I will try and say it in English. Wọ́n pè èèyàn lólè. Ó ń gbé ọmọ ẹran jó. They say they call you thief. You can't dey carry goat pikin. You dey carry and dey dance. I strongly believe if it's not something that he's doing, or something that is his weakness, or an habit, or a normal habit for him, I personally don't think he would have fallen. I don't think he would have fallen for that incident or accusation. But having said that, Baba Ijesha also said, I said Baba Ijesha, Yomi Fabiyi made a comment, and I think I can relate when I watch the CCTV back then. Yomi Fabiyi said Baba Ijesha, that the text message, that even in law court, most of the things that they presented in the court of appeal, that Baba Ijesha got a WhatsApp message and a text message saying he was coming to act. They were coming for his set in Princess House. And apparently, that CCTV, what they showed us was just a snippet. Apparently, there's a longer version of it where Princess and whoever it was in the property were seen to coach the child, the young person, the supposed child, on what to do. That it was acting. Because one of the reasons why the conviction was crushed was the Lagos State Police, or Nigerian Police, whatever they are called, they did not retrieve, they said there was no network to retrieve the CCTV. Instead, what they said was the CCTV, the clip they used was the clip that was presented to them, that was given to them by Princess. So if Princess, and that clip, I think it's about some few minutes. So if what they used was a clip that Princess gave to them, where is the entire CCTV? Exactly, that's what Diva. And that was a question Yomi Fabiyi was asking. So, and like I said, okay, let's even say they said you should come and act movie. If they said you should come and act movie, was the scene that you needed to do what you were seen doing in the video? If that is what they're claiming it was. It's a very, very tricky thing, because the truth is, I guess the only people who know the truth is Baba Ijesha. The people who truly know what truly happened. The people I think is Baba Ijesha, Princess Comedian, Iyabo Ojo most likely, and Just Adetoun, and the young adult, or the lady involved, because although they are saying she's a child, Princess is maintaining that she's a child, the court of law is saying she's an adult. So Baba Ijesha, Iyabo Ojo, Just Adetoun, Princess, and the young person, the five of them are the only ones who truly know what transpired in that property, from the look of things. Those are the only people that know what transpired. And the question is, was it actually a movie set like Yomi Fabiyi is claiming? And whatever he said seems to have held in the appeal court, where there were questions around the WhatsApp was also used to collaborate the new evidence that crushed his conviction. So was it truly a movie? Was it truly a movie? Was it that he was acting? Is it a case that was the part of the script that he needed to act? I don't know. We're not there to tell. Yes, Diaspora Diva. Now, Yomi Fabiyi clarified that, and I think they also said that was part of the things they presented to the court. Apparently, he was being beaten, and the video they showed the public, the CCTV they showed the public, was not the full video. Part of the video was, they said Baba Ijesha was saying that they were beating Baba Ijesha to confess under duress. You know what, with the way Iyabo, I think it's a very tricky thing, because Iyabo Ojo's credibility is questionable. Same as Just Adetong, same as Princess, even same as Baba Ijesha. Okay? The three women who stood their ground to facilitate Baba Ijesha going to prison, their credibility is questionable. I mean, if we look at it from the angle of Mohbad's case, unfortunately, we cannot talk about Iyabo Ojo without referring back to Mohbad's case. Look at the role Iyabo Ojo played. Whether she's gist lover, whether she's not gist lover, but the fact remains, there was a narrative, cancel Naira Marley, cancel Naira Marley. Even when people were saying Naira Marley was not there, even when it was obvious that Naira Marley was not there, they were still coming out to put the thing on him. To the extent that Iyabo Ojo even came out and said Naira Marley laced her children. You know? And Iyabo Ojo, even when Naira Marley came out to come and do video, you understand? He came out to come and do video. He actually went on YouTube. You remember that is popular YouTube stuff. Iyabo Ojo still came out and said no be so. So how can we believe what they have said? And this was what I was drawing on when I was talking about the case of that man from Enugu State, that father that was falsely accused. That when there is questions around credibility of reports, it always raises concerns, because when something truly then happens, it's very difficult to ascertain, is this the truth or is this another lies? Personally, except if there was more to the appeal system, if the appeal system is a fair trial on Baba Ijesha or a fair hearing on Baba Ijesha, the question is, what evidence did they so present? I guess they presented enough evidence to convict him in the first place. But then they were supporting evidence that the appeal court, going by the way they do it in the United Kingdom anyway, yes, somebody can be convicted initially, but when you now go through the appeal system and you are able to tender additional evidence to support your argument, to crush the sentence, to crush the conviction, or reduce the sentence, then the appeal court has to listen. But one thing that is very outstanding here, understanding from my own professional understanding of the criminal justice system. Now, I don't know how the Nigerian criminal justice system work, but I know that to an extent, Nigerian criminal justice system they have the kind of like the UK, the English pattern. Having said that, whether it's English pattern, whether it's Nigerian pattern, having said that, crushing a conviction is a significant move in a criminal justice case, because the appeal did not reduce his sentence. The appeal crushed the conviction. That means basically what they are saying is there was no basis of him being charged in the first place. There was no basis of him being convicted. So that means the evidence that was used to convict him did not stand a chance in the court of law. That's basically what it says. Because if you reduce the sentence, and you can still say, okay, yeah, he did the crime. There was sufficient, because the judge did not say, we reduce the sentence The judge did not say exactly Ogunlaja. The judge did not say they reduce the sentence, because in some cases the appeal court will not crush the conviction. Instead, the sentence could be reduced. But in this particular situation, the sentence was not reduced. The entire conviction was crushed. And in criminal justice, that is not something that happens always. It's not something that happens all the time. It's a once in a while kind of scenario. And for the conviction to be crushed, it means they've looked at everything, including the original evidence. Adeyemi Alani, how were you? Including the initial evidence. They examined it, and then the new evidence, they examined it, they cross-checked it, and after, of course, appeal is not done within a day. After several examinations and cross-checking and stuff, the conclusion with evidence, with very strong evidence, is the conviction should be crushed. That is all. That's not something I can tell you for free. That's not something that criminal lawyers get easily. Crushing the conviction is not always that easy. So for that conviction to be crushed, it means the initial evidence that was presented, there were questions around it, and the appeal court has been able to examine beyond reasonable doubt that he should never have been convicted. And that's literally what has happened. So it's not a case that they reduce his sentence like Princess Comedia was talking jargons yesterday. It's not even you can't calling him a convicted criminal is actually illegal. He's no more convicted, and you can't call him an ex-convict. That is miscarriage of justice. That's basically what the appeal court has said. That his case is a case of miscarriage of justice. That's basically what that means. Did he truly do it? He has an answer within his conscience. Princess Comedian Iyabo Ojo, Baba Ijesha, Princess Comedian Iyabo Ojo, just adeton kidon porukwe, Baba Ijesha, and the lady in question. They are the only ones. The five of them are the only ones who can come out to tell us the truth. Really? Sulaiman said, I believe they bought the initial judgment. Don't forget that somebody among the ladies has a sister that is a magistrate judge, allegedly. Whoa, okay. That's interesting. And I also remember back then, if you cast your mind back, I don't know how true that was, but allegedly, Priscilla was dating Korede Bello, allegedly. And remember, Korede Bello used to be the brand ambassador. Is it brand ambassador? Brand ambassador for Nigerian police. Because I remember people were I remembered that Zimama highlighted that back then, where she said Iyabo Ojo's daughter was dating Korede Bello and is the brand ambassador, whatever it is, for police. And that was the influence. That was part of the influence they used. Everything about that case was red flag. For me, this video that Iyabo Ojo did, this particular video.
Yomi, what's your life with your choco? Yeah. You have to wait. You want to wait, Yomi. You want to wait, yo. Ojoko say you have to wait. You have to be from phone. You let you ask bó ṣe ṣe náà. Mo kọ́ mi máa mọ máa imitate yàn. Ó ṣe báyìí. You have to wait. Even if the person is guilty, even in the courts of law, you're not guilty until you are found guilty. Wallahi, Baba Ijesha guilty. ṣe bá àfipamọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni àfipamọ́ pé kí ó jẹ́ pé adájọ́ ló máa dájọ́ fún bàbá Ìjẹ̀ṣà guilty.
You see this statement that she made. Shebi and Fipamo tell, that means Shebi we were hiding it before. What were they hiding? Because this was the same way she spoke in a factual way around Naira Marley. And then later on, it turned out, I mean, we don't even know. Later on, it's turning out as if that's the, because she said, I remember very well, she was granting an interview to one of the fracas people during Mohbad's case too. He was one of the fracas bloggers that she was granting interview to, where she openly said, she lost guard and said, no, Baba Ijesha, I mean, Baba Ijesha, tó fáwọn ọmọ mi náà ní tó ń fáwọn ọmọ mi ní kíní mu. And then later on she said, of course she lost guard because I think she was driving that day or she was in a car or wherever. She lost guard. Later on she retrieved it. She said she didn't mean her biological children. She said it's kiniko, story. So which one do we believe? There's a lot of lessons here. Is it a case that some people just know how to use the law? They know how to drive emotions, and they have the power around the judicial system, and innocent people or their common enemy goes down. Me, I'm not saying Baba Ijesha did. I'm not saying he didn't do because I don't know. But my question is, it seems like Iyabo Ojo is always caught up in controversy. Because I remember she said some people, when she was young, a group of people forcefully carried her. When she did another video, I think I saw it on, I can't remember where I saw it. Was it on Instagram? I mean, at TikTok, I can't even remember where I saw it. She said it was armed robber. Armed robber came to her house when she was married, and they carried her. And I'm like, which one do we believe? I'm questioning about Paro, Iroma. When someone tells too many, when you tell lies, you have so many stories because you always wanted to cover the lie. Day in, day out, you always want, and in the process of you trying to cover your lies, you are telling another lie to cover another lie to cover another lie to cover another lie. Princess, in case if you are doing if truly you are seeking asylum and you have been advised, because it looks like if you are seeking asylum, maybe that most likely that's the reason why you did that video. The video you did yesterday, it's not going to help your asylum claim. Actually, it's even going to put a lot of holes in the asylum claim if truly you are seeking asylum. And anybody that, if it's your lawyer that told you to go and do that video, that your lawyer has just literally thrown your asylum claim inside the bin. Because everything you have said there yesterday, it shows you aided and abetted Baba Ijesha. That's what you are admitted to in that your video. Just in case you don't know. It shows you aided and abetted Baba Ijesha, and the two of you were fully in know, because you seem to know so much about his pattern of behavior that you are accusing him of. It's going to be very interesting also to see, now that Baba Ijesha is free, is Iyabo Ojo going to send him back? Because she said she will sell her house. That even if he walks free, she will sell her house to send him back to prison. Exactly. Theophilus, that's true. A liar has to have retentive memory, because they will continue to lie and lie and lie until they can lie no more. That is where it is. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether Iyabo Ojo will sell her property to send him back to prison. It's going to be very interesting. And this one that just Adeton went her voicemail, that she's not saying anything, it's also going to be very interesting to see how things play out. For Baba Ijesha, if truly you have, now maybe this is a lucky escape for you. If this is a lucky escape, if you truly have concerns with what they are accusing you of, I would advise that you go and seek professional help. Take yourself away from the public eye right now. Go and seek professional help. Don't go and look for pastor. Your case is not a case of pastor. Go seek professional help and go and address whatever concerns you have. And if you have to grant interview, don't go and carry ring lights. Go and look for professionals. In short, you see Nigerian celebrity. With all of this is one too many. With all of this, you see the reason, you see the gap where there is no PR, where there is no proper PR. Because you guys, obviously, from the look of things, you guys don't have PR. You all don't have PR. Even Funke Akindele, we could say, okay, maybe she has PR. Her sister is the one managing her. But even at that, she still doesn't have PR, because you see the radio they are all doing all on social media. They all don't have PR. Of course, being a PR is not cheap. Employing the service of a PR is not cheap either. Because all those ones that call themselves PR in Nigeria, you saw the way they managed Tonya Imaku when she had a scandal. You saw the way they managed what is her name? Tonto Dike. Look at the way they managed Mercy Aigbe. Even a white comedian, look at the way they managed him. If the people managing them is what they call PR in Nigeria, anyway, what you pay is you get what you paid for. Because they are equivalent in the Western, of course, they learn, but they are equivalent in the Western country. A proper PR company will manage them. Look at Mohbad's case. With all justice today, all of them paying justice, they share them for hand. Some people they think, in short, those one wey they think their head don't ballet. Come and see the way they'll be screaming on top of each other's head. The one wey say they be the one wey they Facebook, all of them, everybody shall they do orishirishi. Look at Baba Mohbad. They say DNA is inconclusive, abi. Imagine, Obimo, you get pikin, you know if you establish say this now. If truly say na Mohbad get that, I don't know. But let's say truly, how? My question is, why will even a woman be running away from DNA? It's a question, no. Why will you, as a mom, be running away from DNA? Because if it's sure for you, say this is not the person where you born. If it's sure for you, say that this person now you born this pikin for, why are you running away from DNA? Because I'm yet to get my head around. I don't understand why women will run away from DNA. It's like me person tell me now make I can't do DNA for my pikin. In short, but of course I don't even need to do DNA. Let's even start from there. Because when you see the pikin, you know when you see the pikin, you see him papa, you don't need to make person tell you say na him papa be this. Even if you don't even see his father, if you see any member of his father's family, you don't need somebody to tell you say na their pikin be this. You know those kind of children wey be say they resemble everybody. Put her near him mama side of family, he resemble them. Put her near him papa side of family, he resemble them. In short, when I went to go and see him recently, I was looking at his fingers, at his hands. In short, it's his father's features. There are some things that are so distinct. You know, I was just laughing, you know, and I think it caught me looking at him at in a bad way. You understand? You know, as a parent now, you know we can be quite whatever. I was just looking at his hand. I don't know what he was doing. I was looking at his hand. I was like, and I just started laughing. I was smiling. You know, you just see, you can tell. You don't need somebody to tell you. If you say my pikin, you don't need a person tell you say this is my papa. And somebody now come and tell me, come and do DNA. In short, badly, and where do you want to do it? How? When? Where? Let us go. We don't even need to be thinking of how to do it. Let us go. There are so many ways you can do DNA. You don't even need to go to any hospital. You can do DNA by post. It's like somebody saying you want to do DNA for me and my sibling. Every part of us, you can see our father's traces around us, our parents' traces around us. So as a woman, why would DNA be a problem for you? Because me, I don't understand how this one they say they said they go court. Why do they need to write to you to come and do DNA? That's a simple thing. There's a saying, they said a woman knows who is the father of her child, and that's the truth. That is the truth. Because if it's sure for you, why do you need them to be writing a letter to you to do DNA? Now we don't see. We don't see her now. look at how they pin look at how they've done and undone. Now here we dey now, all of us dey watch cinema. Look at Baba Ijesha. Whether he did it, whether he didn't did it, the fact remains that the three ladies around that case, their characters are questionable. One, allegedly, he used the case take undo asylum. The other one, in black bonnet, a Bennett. Look at now, in pikin don marry. Aja momo tie fulomu. In pikin don marry now, he cover his own pikin. Are you telling me that all is well with the daughter's wedding, with the daughter's marriage? Are you telling me that it is all onkidori with her and her husband? Shebi they don dey Nigeria. Ruru dey rule for Tanzania. E dey Nigeria. E dey cover him own pikin. If your own pikin, if the husband of the pikin say, come, I want to do DNA for that pikin wey dey una hand, will Iyabo just say no to that? Aja omomo tie fun lorun. Meanwhile, the girl wey dey under him wing, that one don't do DNA. The man is a useless man. Nothing wey they no call the grandfather, the supposed grandfather. Okay, let's even say they even do DNA now. So that man, after that girl don carry him grandfather, call am all sort of name, all sort of unprinted name, you go come carry him 2 left leg, come the house now, come say, daddy, ṣáà má bínú sí mi, ọmọdé ló ń ṣe mí, we no go, pikin no go sabi chop agidi, make e no rub am for hand. You know those àṣìpá òwe wey dey pa. You come kneel down, come dey beg. The same girl wey be say im husband kpai, dey lie the guy, dey lie the kpai body for under staircase. They don embalm, they don turn themselves to bacteriologist. They don embalm, they don do everything. He come go call the baba come. Na baba come. Tí ìbá ṣe pé àwọn family àṣìnú náà. You as papa, ààyè lọmọ ẹ kúrò nulẹ̀ ẹ. You can't carry your 2 left leg, you carry and reach there. They can't dey talk, where is Mohbad? He dey under the step, you can't go see am. Wàláì gbogbo wọn ò ní farare lọ́nu lẹ́yìn. All this one look. Anyway, olúkálùkù yàtọ̀. Wàláì wọn ò ní farare lọ. I dey tell you, wàláì wọn ò ní farare lọ. Because I'm just trying to imagine. So they just call you. Where is Mohbad? In body, look at him, he's under the staircase. You can't dey talk, báwo la ṣe máa ṣe báyìí? Man, in short, the way that man dey talk sef dey always irritate me. Mo wá béèrè, mo wá ṣe kíríkà, I'm like, oh yeah, you. Wàláì wọn ò ní farare lọ́nu lẹ́yìn. No be person, no be èèyàn tó bá farare lọ ló máa rojọ́ fọ́lọ́pàá ni. They come dey speak ground, they come gbogbo wọn wá pín justice, gbogbo wọn wá pín Mohbad case, wọn wá pín sọ́wọ́ bí spring roll. They come dey speak grammar. Nílùú tó lọ́ba tó níjòyè. They come dey ask the girl for court, àbí na corona inquest. Wetin happen? I cook indomie, I cook rice, I cook jollof rice, I cook kinikan. Ọ̀nà dídì anyway, family yàtọ̀ sí family. Family is yàtọ̀ sí family. Family different too. Wallahi, family different. Family different. Everybody get as e dey take react. Because I just dey look them. You go that pikin, you go chop am. The man come dey talk, when I reach there, àwọn èèyàn tí mo bá ń pè pọ̀. Ìlérí Olúwa's girlfriend, I'm the wife of the youth. The wife of the youth láti Musibu. Ìwọ àti tani. Una come dey go court, go dey write. Make she bear name, make she no bear name. Anyway, everybody, wetin dey worry everybody different. Because there are some, you see, the worst thing that can happen to anybody is to come from a dysfunctional family. That's the worst thing that can happen to anybody. You see, that one don go forí lagbo. Ó forí lagbo báyìí, he see himself. Ó forí lagbo, see am. He see himself for where he no know. All of them, they don't move on. All of them, they have moved on. Shebi Baba Ijesha is alive. Baba Ijesha is alive to tell the story. Say in conviction don dey crushed. See Mohbad. Mohbad is not alive to tell that story. He doesn't even know what is going to even. They never establish wetin kpai the guy. Let's even start from there. Shebi Baba Ijesha, at least they don't crush in conviction. Mohbad, they don't even know wetin, they don't even fit establish say this the wife wey dey house with am. Abi na wife, abi na girlfriend, whatever it is. She never fit establish say this na wetin happen gangan. 1 minute they say na nurse shook am injection. Another minute they say he convulse. In short, there are different version of wetin kpai the guy. Initially they say na punch, they punch am. Say they do am wetin, they use egbeji ologun take touch am. Na the first way they first talk with her. Later on they come, they say na another thing na do am. You see how this, you see what can happen when people throw emotions. Them Iyabo Ojo, Gistlover, all of them, they come begin the true story. Naira Marley ni o, the Ikedikan ni o, Ishekinikan. Even in friend, even Mohbad the friend, Bella Shumuda, that one use Mohbad take cash money. He sing song in tribute. Everybody say na tribute. Omo lomo, oya fi cash crew, oya te fi cash owo. All the people wey they call brother, everybody don't move on with in life now. Or everybody eye don't clear. Baba Mohbad himself, he don't move on. Baba Oni Baba, he don't dey your tummy. Mama Oni Mama himself, he dey there. According to Yoruba, they say ẹni tó kú tí ẹ ló ṣègbé. And indeed, ẹni tó kú tí ẹ ló ṣègbé. Na Mohbad the body dey mortuary. Every other person, they live their life. But I can tell you for free, Baba Mohbad, ọmọ Èkìtì ni, go don shop iyán àtọbẹ̀ ìṣápá, go don shop am. Abi dey tell you say this is the time wey Mohbad don dey there, Baba Mohbad never shop, he don shop. He go don shop, he go don even carry well, he go don the wife ọmọ lọ́mọ, abi na wife, abi na girlfriend, ọmọ lọ́mọ, òun náà ti gba nǹkan sára. Who na live story? Abi no be she carry herself, no be she dey carry go Tanzania. He go, he come back. Àwọn ará Lekki, ìyẹn ṣá máa wo fíìmù tiyín. In the case of Baba Ijesha, you can see whether he's going to make a comeback to Nollywood, we never will know. I don't know. Me, I don't know that story. But there's a lot of lessons here. If there's anything that this has kind of like taught us, is not jumping to emotions. Because these people seem to know how to use emotions to drive public opinion or to drive the court of public opinion. And hey, to an extent I will tell you they succeeded to an extent. Because at a point, everybody was so focused on their narrative. Only very, very few was questioning their narratives. And I still ask, what if Baba Ijesha, at the point where he was incarcerated, what if he cried? He would have cried innocently. What if Yomi Fabiyi did not stand his ground to fight for him? What if? What if he didn't have good legal team around him? What if? And again, let's also look within. How many people are in prison in Nigeria that are actually innocent? And people who have put them there, they are people who have people within the judicial system. And they've thrown power around. And they've done what they have to do. And we are here looking at them. Today is Baba Ijesha. Who else is in the net of these ladies and other ladies? Look at the case of that man in Enugu State. The wife, they threw video out. I remember that video was trending that very day. That video was trending non-stop. for whatever reason, I just refused to do the video. That video was trending, and I can tell you, when the other video came out, when the other video where the lady was coaching the children came out, the new other video did not trend as much as the initial video. And a lot of people who helped to trend that video did not help to trend the other one that actually showed the man's innocence. Look at the case of Baba Ijesha. He was freed. His conviction is crushed. Look at Princess Comedian coming out to still put out a story. No, he served his time. She was even though she didn't even understand what the nonsense she was saying, she was still there telling lies. He served his full term. He's shaking it because how did he serve his full term? She was still there trying to drive a false narrative. There was nothing stopping her from coming out yesterday. It would have been dignifying if she came out yesterday and said, do you know what? I put my hands up. I put my hands up. As a matter of fact, we lied against him. Baba Ijesha, please forgive us. That would have been so dignifying. But she was still trying to push the narrative. No, he's guilty. She was even calling him convicted, whatever name she was calling him. And from the way she was talking, she's intelligent. She's not stupid. I can tell you that for free. She was still trying to drive that narrative that the man is guilty. I hope we are all learning from this. Men, I hope you are learning. Women, I hope you are learning. Parents, I hope you are all learning. Caregivers, I hope you are all learning. I hope we are all learning from this. There's a lot of lessons to be learned. Why give your children to someone that cannot care for them in the first place? As a man, why? Why would you be so comfortable with other people's children? You can see how easily someone can be framed up. From the story, like I said at the beginning, with the information that was, I think it was from Yomi Fabi that said it, that Princess is his ex-girlfriend. So I know they do again. Look at what he has cost him, if truly they were dating. Look at what I know they do again. Look at what it cost him. It didn't just cost him his career. It cost him. This is a part of his life that it can never be retrieved. That experience that he has been locked up can never be quantified. It's a trauma on his own. Hey, it is what it is. I will come out maybe later in the afternoon, maybe around about 12 o'clock our time, maybe 12:01. I want to come and do. I've always wanted to do this Baba Adeboye's show, and I keep saying I will do it, but I just never go around it. I'll probably come back later and do the Baba maybe later in the day at some point. I'll come and do this Baba Adeboye's show. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for sticking here with me and watching. I hope we are all learning. You know, there's a lot to learn here. There's a lot to learn. And I hope we are all learning. You can see there's a lot of lessons here. I hope you're all learning. This could happen to anybody. It could have happened to just anybody. Look at how they turned his life around. On top say, I know they do again. Look at how his life has been turned around. I'll see you all later in the day. Have a wonderful time. I'll come back later. I don't know what time yet, but I'll come back later. All right, take care. Bye.